everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show.
So funny, I was like super empowered. I don't think I could sleep.
Still follows the same rules, has the same characters and all that stuff,
Yes.
but it just tweaks it a little bit.
You're reading fantasy, and it's so grounded. It's so completely grounded in reality.
Rule clarification, if we both get it wrong, do we get bonus points?
Soldier Simmons, it is my pleasure to now pin you, raising you from the rank of soldier to dedicated.
That didn't happen in the books, but it was awesome.
I nailed it.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. Let me bring you comfort about Egwene. I know you haven't seen her in a month, but let me tell you this story about how badass she is right now.
That fight scene, my boy went through 5 daggers.
Everybody's flower is different. I think we learned that in the books. This is I think for me, top 5 moments ever on screen.
When I read it, I felt empowered. I felt called to action.
One of the best quotes in the whole series is when Gaul says, "Do you like to dance, Baron Abara?"
The knights who say chill.
AKA the band of really, really nice good guys.
Let a couple more drip on.
Can you drip your Zane everywhere?
I am.
Do you have a chaser should you need it?
Can I have a little bit of mine too?
Oh, no.
Yo, this is good.
good.
Young people do like this now or something instead of this.
Oh, it's like this.
The heart emoji.
Don't jiggle, jiggle.
It folds. I like the way you wiggle, wiggle.
You
Oh,
wiggle.
show. We're going to review the entirety of season 1 of the Wheel of Time. The whole thing. Finale of Rings of Power. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show! Hello, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. I made sure that I was muted during the intro, but then I realized that meant you guys couldn't hear me either, probably. So, anyways, this is behind the scenes stuff. You guys don't need to know what's going on. Basically, I'm the best at what I do, and that's all you have to know. So,
Super professional.
Let's try this again. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. We are so excited to be back once again to talk about our favorite show, I think. The Wheel of Time. All of us who are here right now saw Season 3, Episode 1, this past weekend at the Prime Video Global Online Fan Event.
That is an accurate statement.
And that is what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, like usual, I'm going to introduce our very special guest, because on the Wheel and Chill Show during the season, we bring in a show-only guest. That means somebody who is not familiar with the books, who is only watching the show, so that we can pick their brains about how they're feeling about the show, since we have a completely different perspective. So this is Max Anthony, TikTok's everybody's big brother. And since Winespring is good friends with Max Anthony, I don't know much about this guy, so we're going to let him introduce himself, plug whatever he wants to plug, and then we'll briefly introduce ourselves, and then we will get talking about the episode. So no book spoilers in the chat or from us until I give you the signal, and that signal will be 45 minutes to an hour from now. So, okay, Max.
And just a quick pause. It did not work on X. Is there an extra button we need to push while he's introducing himself?
I had it selected. I don't know.
Okay.
I double
checked. There was an
it.
extra step or not.
There wasn't. No, it was exactly what I did last time. I'm sorry.
Okay, see if I can figure it out.
I'm sorry.
Things happen.
Yeah, things do happen. Okay, Max, why don't you take it away?
Hi! Like it was said, Max Anthony is my name, and Mr. Brother is the name I do over on TikTok. I've been doing that for over 4 years now, 4.5 actually, a few days ago, where I just create positive, fun, mental health kind of content, like you're going to be okay, you're enough, I'm proud of you, hey, I'm glad you're still here, as well as just funny react things for great mashups of music, just to make you laugh and just to create some kind of positive emotion or feeling out of it. I did get into this show from a very pretty cool aunt of mine. Winespring Cafe over there is actually.
Oh, I thought he was going to say me, but.
I mean, I'm sure you're pretty darn cool too. But after basically every holiday, every time you see it, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it? If you watched it, you should watch it. You should definitely go watch it. Have you seen it?
Borderline harassment.
You know, it's funny. As soon as you started saying that, my brain instantly saw Winespring.
Yeah.
That is totally her vibe.
Have you?
Most
Have you?
definitely.
Have you?
I'm pretty sure it was at least 15 times Thanksgiving, at least, at minimum 15. It was every 5 minutes, every break in the conversation. It was so.
I would just slip it in. How are your potatoes? Did you watch the episode yet?
And you say those exact words during the same day. No, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. No, I haven't actually. Believe it or not. Crazy.
That's so funny. Okay, so when did you start? What was the time frame? Like how?
So
yeah,
I
when did you start
watching the show when it first came out? I watched the first 4 episodes. One after the other when it first came out, because it was originally brought out to my attention pretty quickly off there. I'm not gonna lie, I had like a good long 2-year break, and then about, I'd say, a week ago. Yeah, actually, a week ago, I got back in and rewatched the entire first and second season. Right into it. The moments I was asked about this, I was like, yeah, okay. And I just started rewatching everything and got it all done, and it was just great. It's just great. I'm honestly really loving it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely worth the watch. Worth the harassment.
So how do you have so season 1 versus season 2, do you feel like did you like them in different ways, like one more than the other?
I liked both of them a lot. I feel like both had a lot of development, a lot of growth, a lot of individuality. The first one took me a little bit to kind of realize what was going on. Like there was a lot happening at one time. I was like, wait, who is this? Who is happening? There's a lot of words at one time. I couldn't really. First 2 episodes, I was very like, just rewatch that again after like a few more episodes in, so I know what's happening. So I feel like the beginning gave a lot at once, but once you got it, you were good. The second season, I think, was really nice when it came to adding new people, new characters. It was a little more of a build with those, and a little less of right in your face. But of course, that's to be expected from a beginning of a show versus a continuation. I really enjoy the fight sequences in both, but I feel like the second season just had a lot more art with it and a lot more just good motion. You can tell like there was like a lot of growth and build with it. Like the first season was let's do it, let's hope this continues, and the second season was like, we got it, let's make this beautiful and perfect and continue this legacy.
That's awesome. And I feel like I assume, based on what we've seen, season 3 is just going to be another step up in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm thinking. Before we get into season 3, episode 1, though, was there anything else you wanted to say in your introduction before we dive in?
About myself or about like in general?
Literally,
like
whatever you want.
Let me
Start preaching.
I mean, no pressure. No pressure. You can absolutely be done.
I can say a hot take from the season finale, if that's a thing. I don't know.
Do it. Hot take.
I honestly think that Rena, the person who was in control, shouldn't have been killed or shouldn't have died. I also think
I'm gonna stay out of this one.
I can say why. I can say why. From what I've seen, it read as 100% brainwash cult. And even when she was as cruel and terrible, she was trying to be kind and trying to be nice with her initial approach. She wasn't originally doing all the things that she was. Damn, I'm not liking the face I'm being given.
Listen, I'm out of this.
Don't worry about it. It's like it's just interesting, you know.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk later. No, but like without you, we're gonna talk.
Just
things that happen in the books later.
Listen. I'm
the
just
face I
gonna
was
say,
given.
the last time I tried to defend anyone like Dana, the dark friend, I was labeled dark friend.
Yeah.
Half of the chat still thinks I'm a goddamn dark friend.
Oh, I have so much I can get into about the whole dark friend stuff, but I feel like that's a later thing as well.
Okay. Gonna sit here.
We already have a comment that they actually want your opinion and don't let us kick you
Okay.
off.
Absolutely.
Whatever, like blinded fool, whatever.
From beginning of what we were seeing, it's 100% that character is brainwashed to think terrible, horrible things. You're not a person. You're this. You're that. We're this. I'm this. I have to be this. If I don't do specifically these things, they're wrong. Completely, utterly brainwashed as a character to think these terrible things. The actions they were trying to do originally, the beginning, were nice in her head. were nice in her from what we saw in the show. And then once they weren't working, you could see like the break, the twist. You could see the cult, if you want to say, like the brainwashing of dehumanizing Snap, and then her becoming that terrible thing. And I would have liked seeing some kind of reverberation growth back towards her being a normal person, a normal human who was seeing people as humans instead of how terrible she was treating her at the end. But I don't know, just more of the growth to terrible to hoping to go back towards being decently nice again, I guess. I don't know.
I will say that there are characters in the Wheel of Time books that completely agree with you. That's all
Our characters.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so let's we're getting into the Deets here, and I think we need to take a little pause and say thank you to everyone who is currently in the chat. What's up? Hey, everybody on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch. Unfortunately, it sounds like X might not be working, even though I
It's
promise.
in and out, actually, apparently, from people's reports. So we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah. It's been in and out all day. They've been having X is having a moment.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it's under a cyber attack, so yeah, it's a moment.
Yeah.
If it shows up, then it does. But otherwise, everyone who's
We'll
here,
see.
we appreciate you. And if you have any questions, obviously let us know in the chat. And we are going to dive into the episode. But before we do so, why don't we all briefly introduce ourselves other than Max? Winespring, go ahead.
That's me. I'm Winespring. You can find me on X at Winespring Cafe. My website is winespringcafe.com. And I specialize in Wheel of Time recipes. And if you just go to my X account under articles, that's where I'm starting to post them live. So you can find them in one spot really easily. And also, let's see, we're doing X Spaces on Thursdays at 11 a.m. CT with a different group of just fans that want to jump in and chat. And that's been really great. So if you want to discuss the Wheel of Time without being on camera, that's a good way to do it. And then let's see, Nights Who Say Chill might be back this month. If not, it'll be next month as we're trying to figure out that schedule. And that's D&D. And what else is there? Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, season 3 started.
Well,
So
officially.
officially
starts
it's happening.
March 13th. Okay, thank you, Winespring. Tav, go ahead.
Hey everybody, I'm Ta'veren Tavern. I do Wheel of Time merch, like this land trap shirt.
And this one.
And the G one. And Kritter also makes merch. She's wearing one of hers, her mat. Feeling lucky. So we have that going for us. You can find me on Redbubble or TeePublic. Just look for Ta'veren Tavern. I have well over 200 designs on Redbubble, so there's plenty to look at. I am taking a little bit of a hiatus from other things on my YouTube channel at the moment, but I will be back on, and hopefully once the season officially starts, I will be doing more TikToks about my thoughts on season 3 as they go along. Aside from that, you are looking at the once and future winners of the Wheel of Time Fantasy League.
Yup.
Our team is called Igloo and Chill, and we're off to a kick-ass start. We're going to get points, and we'll talk about that on next Sunday.
Okay, and that's on the Black Tower podcast.
Yes, it is.
YouTube. So if you want to watch that as it progresses, our current lineup is Alana. Okay, let me see if I can do this.
All right, go ahead.
Alana, Varen.
Yes.
Oop, that might be all I know.
No, okay. So we have our current lineup is Alana, Varen, Swan.
That's right.
Chesmol and Fail.
So a strong lineup. I mean, we also had Alana did
strong
in
lineup.
episode 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you Tavern? Is that?
I was gonna say. Oh, last thing, Max. Don't let chat get you in trouble.
I can't even see chat, so I don't think.
Don't look.
They're all telling you stand your ground, speak your mind. Don't do that. Don't
stand your ground.
I've
always
learned from experience.
It's more fun.
The faces were fun, though. I'm pretty sure that was entertaining for them to all watch.
Yeah. All right, I'm done. Go ahead, Kritter. Sorry.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kritter XD. This is my YouTube channel that you're on right now. I'm on YouTube. I am on TikTok as Kritter XD. I've got a Discord if you want to talk about the Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings, whatever. I am on X and Blue Sky and Instagram, all Kritter XD. I'm also Egwene Alvear on X, and that's where like all my exclusive Wheel of Time stuff goes. I do merch. I love the Wheel of Time. What can I say? And we are going to be here every Monday from now until the end of the season, talking about the episodes after they come out. So episode airs on Thursday. We'll be talking about it that next Monday. So get excited for that. And unless something crazy happens, every single episode we plan to have a show-only guest for the first part. So there will be no book spoilers until the back half. And then in the back half, we go full book spoilers. So we can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Hey.
Forget about it.
And okay, I feel like we nailed it. That was a 15-minute intro. Could have been shorter, but it was fine. It was fine. It could have been longer.
Like a stand-up.
We did
It's
okay. It was like we just did a little stand-up, and now it's time to talk about season 3, episode 1 of the Wheel of Time.
Yes!
I can't believe that it's finally here, and we didn't even have to wait as long between season 1 and season 2, or between season 2 and season 3 as we did between season 1 and season 2. So this feels like a treat.
It was long enough, but yes,
you're right.
enough,
but we didn't have to. So let's go first impressions, in like one sentence from all of us. I don't want to put you on the spot, Max, so I'm going to let you go whenever you want. Winespring, you go first. Ha.
Dang. Okay, one sentence one sentence would be that
we're gonna get a lot of like
I know, I'm sorry.
Connecting words.
The Wheel of Time and character development. I feel like Matt is happening.
Yes.
In a wonderful, wonderful way. Okay.
Okay, I love
that was vague enough.
All right, Tavern, you got it?
Yes. So episode 1, season 3 of the Wheel of Time was almost a perfect execution of fantasy sci-fi television. Okay. Almost perfect.
Almost perfect. Curious to see how it could have been better for you. I know how it could have been better for me.
More land fear.
More land probably for you.
Or two. That too.
Okay, I loved season 3 episode 1. I think that was I think it's a semicolon actually. I think it was the best Wheel of Time episode thus far, and it has me super hyped for the remaining episodes, especially episode 4, because some of us know what's going to happen in episode 4 and it's going to get even more wild. I think just a prediction. So anyways, couldn't be more hyped. There was a lot of commas and semicolons in there, but I think I nailed it. Max, why don't you go?
run on sentences. There's just a lot of stuff happening. A lot.
Period. Cool.
Yeah, period.
One sentence.
One sentence.
Semicolons are a thing. Trust me.
I see that runs in the family.
It does.
Okay. We just there will be a lot of back and forth within the stories.
Yes.
One sentence, that's what I was given. That's
I love it.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a question for you, Max. What is the most pressing question you had after seeing season 2 that you hope to find an answer to in season 3?
Well, my dog's going crazy. No. I would beginning of the season finale for season 2. One thing I would love the answer for is, hey, the darkness, it affects all men. It affects the period. If you're a guy and you can do this, you're gonna turn bad. You're gonna go crazy. Blah blah blah. Goes back 3,000 years. Shows all of them doing it. None of them have any darkness attached to them. None of them have anything to show that they're going mad or going crazy. Also, every single person who is on the chosen side, the dark side, the bad side, they all seem pretty sane to me. They all seem pretty mentally okay. Maybe there's the darkness is some kind of like transfer of the way you think. Good is bad, bad is good. But they don't seem crazy or mad at all. So who caused the madness?
That's right up there with Rena is a good girl.
No.
I mean, that was right up there with that.
What's amazing is based on what we've seen in the trailer, and I won't say why, I'm not going to say how, I think you're going to find out. Some answers.
Yeah.
So it's actually very exciting to hear. I can't wait to watch episode 2.
You might get an early Christmas.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's see. Again, don't forget to ask.
Can I ask him a follow-up question on
Absolutely.
that?
Yes. Get in there.
So in episode 1, you did see the taint with Rand right?
Yes, with him. Yes, I'm saying.
Yeah.
When we saw every time he did that, every single time it showed that the taint was there.
Yeah.
But when they went back in time into the 3,000 years and showed like the ceiling
Yep.
of the people, that's when I saw all the people who were using it. Those were those like NCD girls there. I didn't see women, any like strong women there. I just saw the guys doing it without any of the darkness. And I was like, okay, what was happening 3,000 years ago? Like, how was society? I'm curious. I'm very interested to see like just the background, the story of all this, and just the world building.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
We're just not allowed to read the books until the show's done being made.
Oh,
I think we're gonna want you to keep coming on the show.
You all are so mean.
It's only
this is the second person that you would do that to.
That we prohibit from actually watching.
I've never thought I would beg you not to read the books.
I know. I have the same thing with my cousin Maggie. It's like, you're not allowed to until it's over. Sorry.
Please don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? I'm trying to remember. I was about to be like, what was the cold open? This episode. So let's start with the part of this episode that we had some of us seen even before the global fan event, which was 11-minute bonkers for women in their 40s and 50s shredding each other, right? They come in, there's some politics going on. Leandrin's like, I'm gonna accuse Swan. The sitters are all like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Is that true? And then Leander gets accused of being Black Aja, and all hell breaks loose. Max, did you watch that for the first time this weekend, or did you watch that?
Yes, first time.
Okay.
First time.
How did that make you feel?
It was a lot. It was a lot to see that it dove in so deeply. I was trying to like look at just the story. Part of me is like picking out little things, like, but it was really cool to see just how it really affected and how it really like dug into the tower. How it wasn't just this one. It wasn't just Our Lady in Red. It was like all of the heads from each section.
Sorry.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Yes.
You're a god friend to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's so much going on. We haven't had a stream since that came out, I don't think. Mm-hmm. No, we had the trailer stream, but we did not have the 11-minute stream.
That is
correct.
We
didn't. Yeah.
So how do you guys, Tav, Winespring, any like thoughts?
Ooh, I'll let Winespring go first because I've got a couple of things.
Okay, so first for me, I'm really grateful that they gave us those 11 minutes early because I would have missed so much when we started episode 1. There are so many little looks, little pauses, little touches that you don't notice until you watch it for the second time.
Yeah.
And so you kind of anticipate a little more of what's going to happen so you can see the background acting, happening. And I mean, that made it so much more intense and dramatic.
Yeah.
I am still frustrated with Nynaeve. I just really thought they were going to show us more with that than they did in the 11 minutes, and that was naive of me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about Tav. I'm coming to you.
No, you're good.
Max, Nynaeve. How do you? I know she's a pretty divisive character amongst the TikTok fandom, right? Because I post about Wheel of Time all the time, and I get a lot of comments like, Nynaeve better do
surprised.
something. Nynaeve better do something. And you know what? I get it because as a book reader, we had a lot of those same thoughts during certain books. How do you feel about Nynaeve and her block and the issues?
I mean, I think she's fine. I mean, I think that she obviously like there's something going on where she even in the past didn't really think she could use a disability or like really couldn't like control it ever, and all of a sudden like through like extremely traumatic events it shows that she's able to then kind of touch it, but she has to almost force it, and she like it's not a easily flow thing. Everyone else somehow it seems locked away, and some people would say that could be due to some kind of trauma, like just watching her parents get slaughtered as a child. It could be something like traumatic. Like every single time she basically is re-traumatized is when she's able to then touch it again. So it just shows a character that is extremely traumatized and is trying her best, but can't always be in control. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. She's very real. She's human.
Yeah.
Wow. Just It's great.
Okay, Tav, how did you feel about those 11 minutes?
So
really
the 11 minutes, one, I think that more money was spent on those 11 minutes than on the first 2 seasons.
Oh my god.
For special effects.
Good shout out there.
And I'm not knocking. Listen, I'm not knocking the first 2 seasons. They worked with what they had, but holy shit, those 11 minutes, money went into somebody's pocket right there. So that was awesome. I loved the fact that when Swan got angry, the first thing she did was envelop Leandrin in flames, basically the flame of Tar-Valon, because she is mother and she was going to burn her ass to a cinder. I liked how they introduced characters with minimal effort. For example, when Jane and Chesmal walked down the hallway, you could tell that Chesmal was afraid to be there. And then just with Jane's one line, I can feel them dying. It's so good.
Oof,
you don't need to know shit else about that character. That's it. You got it. The one thing that I will say that is a negative towards the almost perfect was I really wish they hadn't telegraphed the Black Aja before they even got into the hall, because they kept focusing on the 4 that were Black Aja.
They were like looking at each other.
Yeah. If they had not done that, and when she yelled, "Join me now," they would have popped up then without us having had any hints. Holy shit, that would have been so much more powerful. But that's
how was that not how you felt the first time you watched it?
No, they focused too much on them.
Oh, really? I was just let's go. What's happening here?
But that was
politics.
It. But other than that, fucking amazing 11 minutes.
So one of our other show-only guests has said that she assumes that everyone in the Red Aja is actually Black Aja.
Yep.
How do you feel about that, Max? Is that like what the vibe that you picked up, or do you have other thoughts about that?
I think that so the whole what color Aja kind of works, I think it's very interesting. It's more of like how you see the world and how you act in the world and how you want to give back or something like that, especially considering they live as long as they do. It's basically like what you contribute into the world. And the Red Aja just seem kind of like Slytherin. They kind of seem like taking control. They just seem like everyone else is very flow and they're very like grabbed by the throat and like and it's very easy to, when you're in a group like that and people who are very like grabbed by the throat to like, this is my group people, we control who's in it. So you can be like, we can probably twist you to go in here. We can probably get you to go in here. It only makes sense that you can, like, if you've been there for so long, you can grow that community, grow that group into who you want to be there. Like if someone has a connection, like that you want to exploit that connection, but maybe they don't turn to your side, you can have them there, but you can like, they're fully in control of that. 100%.
Definitely use them. Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Gentech in the chat says, I think this is book reader bias. I don't think anyone would think they were Black Aja just from those shots. So maybe because you knew. Maybe, Tav, because you knew. You were like, oh, this is obvious.
No. Well, maybe. I mean, but I wasn't talking about the Red Aja in particular. They just, they focused too much on those 4 women in the hallway before they even went into the.
Well, I know that's what but like, how would you... I guess if you didn't know that they were Black Aja.
No,
because
true.
like, for example,
no, I get what
Max,
you're saying.
This is why you're here.
Did
you think all of those people were Black Aja? Something was
not
up. Okay.
Not that it was blaming Black Aja, but it was, because I know who anyone was, but it was 100% that something was up, something was going on. The constant back and forth of eye contact was some type of checking in, but you didn't know with what. You didn't know like if it was. Like I didn't expect them to all do that. I mean, I have my own opinions on the fight and how certain people shouldn't have died. And hey, maybe 2, 4, 6, like the 10 on 4, 5, the 10 should have won. Like there were a lot of like the kind of strongest were. It's fine, whatever. But that's story building. That's other aspects of things. Surprise is also obviously something to put into, but if you always looked at every single fight like, well, this person beat this person, blah blah blah, you're not going to enjoy a story, because there's always going to be a changing of power dynamic and someone's strength throughout a storytelling. That's just how that works.
Okay. So people in the chat is chatting, saying there were some pretty sus close-ups.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Fine.
And since we're talking about Ajas,
Yeah.
Which one would you
Oh
be?
yeah.
Ooh.
That's one of my favorite questions.
That is a good
I'd
question.
probably be some sort of healing or just
Yellow.
land, if I'm mistaken. Yellow, and then green is just like land. What is green?
Battle.
again?
Green is
Green
battle.
is the battle object.
Battle object.
Never mind.
No,
They're like
No,
the Marines.
I'm getting yellow vibes from you, which is so funny
Yeah.
because you're wearing yellow. Look at you.
I wonder why. It's crazy.
And there's the banana in the background.
and
And the
like,
banana.
it's reverse. There we go.
Yeah.
That's great. Yellow.
But no, I mean, I'm literally working on getting my EMT certification from the firefighter
Nice.
EMT, so that's kind of just how it works anyway.
No,
Yeah.
Yellow sounds about right. That's
runs in the
fabulous.
fam.
Yeah, I'm blue.
No,
Why
very
are
much.
you are
I think I'm actually white.
you're I think you're like yellow white.
is
You're,
white?
you're
Yellow
yellowish
white,
white.
yeah.
What is the white
yellow,
one?
but
What is the white again?
Logic.
Lot. Okay.
I'm just
Law?
I'm the blunt instrument. I'm
No,
green.
not law. Blue's law. Or blue and gray. You're
Blue
yeah.
and gray,
Tab
yeah.
is green for sure.
Tab is definitely green. Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of green, let's because we're talking about the battle. Speaking of green, how did we feel about Alana on the streets of Tarvalin? When
Oh wait, are we full episode right now? We're past the
full,
11
yeah,
minutes.
full. I mean, we're talking about full
Okay.
episode.
All right, good.
Yeah. So Alana,
Oh.
I can't even because we couldn't rewind. Did she literally just like yeet herself into the air
She
somehow
did.
and do like a
She
flip?
yeeted.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, that happened.
What? Okay, Max, how do you feel about Alana? Like, she's
Um,
green, Battle Aja. This is news to
Oh
you.
yes,
but-
that. Oh no, you're good. I had to I was actively like remembering like who am I thinking? Yes, that person got it.
Yeah.
She was a badass.
Yeah.
She was awesome. I think I'm not gonna lie, I saw the three of them move forward. I'm like, okay, there's three of y'all versus five. You're gonna lose. But
And two of you can't channel, guys.
literally can't like there's an entire like cool. You two are dead. Like that just my brain said that, but I was happily surprised that they didn't just overpower. It was really pretty with the movement, and they showed more of a skill.
Yeah.
I loved that scene. I love how it flowed. As long as I don't think about how strong individuals probably should be compared to others, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned the flip, and the strength does play a huge part in it, which is weird because I mean, book folk will know that there's I know that there are levels, right? There are power levels.
Mhm.
So we have a big step up on that whole aspect.
Mhm.
But not only did Alana freak me out with the flip that you mentioned, but so did Galad and Bruno. There was a lot of flipping in that fight too.
Galad and that's not in episode 1.
Oh no, but there was I don't know if you saw that clip, but there was
Yeah,
a whole.
we're not
It's
talking
already
about
come
that.
out.
Some
All right,
people,
sorry.
some people aren't watching
Well,
the clips. So people
Okay,
aren't watching the clips.
so what I'm getting at is that the fact that the fighting style is a way different than I was anticipating. Not only the channel fighting or fighting with the channeling, but the stuff that the Green Aja was doing, and not to mention, holy shit, we see now what one sister can do with two warriors.
Yes. Yes.
That was a lot.
I was very impressed and skeptical about how effective the warders were.
Yeah, no, that was insane.
Like, guys, you literally brought swords to a magic fight. There's no way you would be that effective.
I want to ask questions, but I'm like, we'll save that for book time. Okay.
Is there a connection between how many wardens like a person
Warders?
can have versus warders? Sorry,
No, you're
versus,
good.
like one versus the two. Like I understand like a two, it was like her original versus her love, so they both became. But like, what is there a thing there? Or like, what
It's
is that?
dependent on the sister and how many warders she wants.
Okay.
Some sisters will take one warder and actually marry them.
Mhm.
Right, and that's their bond.
Mhm.
And I want to say that Karini and Stepan were that, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
can't remember. The only Aja
Yeah.
that takes
Sounded like
multiple
it.
warders though
Is
the green.
Is green. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah, 'cause I
that's
saw-
because it's like helpful in battle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was like all three were a thing, or if just like it was like the guys at one point where they had like a little hand thing at the beginning of of the episode. But it could have been just like a little like they've been together for so long, they're all technically connected. Like even when the one passed away, he was like he literally instantly was like I felt him like being gone. Like
yeah.
So there was that still like bond connection anyway. So I couldn't tell if it was more of a romantic love or just a love.
No, I think the three of them together
Mhm.
so far in
Okay.
the episode have been a romantic love. Now, granted,
Okay.
Maxim did explain that he was in love with Yvonne,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's how he ended up with Alana, because Alana bonded him. But he always feels like he's on the outside, but they are part of a
like a polyamorous type situation. But but not all warders and Aes Sedai are romantically in love either. Like Moraine and Lan.
Of course, like we saw.
Yeah. So it's complicated. The bond between a warder and an Aes Sedai, it can be anything, honestly. So and I don't know. This isn't. We don't know that this is going to come up in the show. But in the books, there are certain warder Aes Sedai relationships where one of them is a dark friend and the other one isn't. So like they're not always as close as you might think.
I hope that is a thing, because that's pretty like cool.
Pretty exciting.
No, that is pretty freaking
I did not expect you to say cool.
There. I mean, it's like I can feel them.
Oh, she was so creepy.
Oh my
goodness.
Real sneaky about it. Okay,
So-
Blue Tulip, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you.
Oh, yay. Was there a moment that really like affected you emotionally in this first episode?
Whole episode, yeah.
Not necessarily if you have one for the whole season, also that'd be cool. And definitely for this episode, that'd be fun.
I mean, I definitely have both of those. I would say less. I don't know if this is really I didn't really have any crazy emotions from the first episode. I mean, I felt like I was just really disappointed whenever out of the two of them, whenever the one partner died. When I saw that happen, I was like, darn, that stinks. A lot of things that happened, I kind of figured out what's going to happen before they did. Not gonna lie, like the betrayal, like the one sister betraying the two of them. Like it was like, I don't know. It just seemed obvious to me. Not in a negative way, but in a like, let's see how they do it kind of way. I did really like how with Matt, they really played into the like addicted side of his personality. Like it just his entire personality shows addict, and his attachment to something. I was really hoping that when he grabbed this thing and he blew it, you could tell the attachment he had to that knife fully just kind of went away.
Oh,
he like oh yeah, he's like, I remember, like he literally said, I remember who I am. You can tell he was like who he was again. So it seems like he's now addicted to a positive high and less of a negative high, but I honestly have no idea how it's going to move him. But I also have some questions about the horn anyway, but that could be discussed later. They're going to discuss that later if y'all want.
We all
to
have
right now. What's your question?
Horn.
What's your question?
What is the question?
Okay, the whole myth behind it, or the whole thing behind it, is like when you blow it, the warriors of, can you remember what was warriors of what?
The Heroes of the Horn.
Here's the horn. They say like the heroes of the horn, and I would assume this horn's been around for thousands of years, possibly 3,000 years.
Yeah.
On the screen, what we saw maybe 30 people, one every 100 years. I don't think that's how that like would have. So it seemed like maybe the like individual souls that are connected through time are those, but I really didn't understand, like, is every person who blows it their heroes, their people, their connections that show up? Because the person to his right was like the guy in the helmet said how he's fought by his side and died by his side like many times. So it's like, okay, so what is this really? Like, what is it? Just their soul coming? I don't know. Things like that.
Cool.
Do you want to know?
No.
Yeah, we
no.
It's okay. So it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
It's just data, really. For this. Go ahead.
I was
Critter.
hoping they would reveal more about that this season in a fun unfolding kind of way.
I mean, I don't know that the horn is going to come up much this season.
Yeah, that and the fact that what they did on the show was for practical reasons, because they just couldn't have
VFX.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So Critter, if you want to tell them,
So
fine.
the Horn of
Okay.
Elir, essentially, like the heroes of the Horn are attached to it, and it's not like a massive army. Basically, you just have to be like incredibly heroic, for lack of a better
righteous
word.
warrior,
like a righteous warrior. And if you are righteous enough, if you are
for the light.
good enough for the light, then you'll get kind of like knighted, right, as a hero of the Horn. And from then on, the pattern, because people get spun back in and out of the pattern like repeatedly, right? And so the heroes, they so like Matt, for example, is a hero of the Horn. So he's had past lives where he was a hero like every single time, and the Horn will spin him back out. But if he's not actively been spun out, this is so weird.
I understand.
When the Horn is blown, then that's whenever they like manifest and come and fight for the light.
Also,
to see Uno pop up.
Also, there was in the number was more over 100, just over 100, if I'm not mistaken.
In the books, yeah.
Yeah, in the books. So for the show, they're on the wall of a castle. They can't shove that many people on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But you could see that like they were worth way more than just like one person.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So you got to be really, really, really good.
Yeah. There's a lot of connections between people that I think are very interesting. There's a lot of background thoughts I have between like the connections of the individuals within the wheels. Was it the strings? Is that what they said? They called it like the
pattern.
The attachments.
The
the
pattern.
Threads,
Yeah.
That's
right.
They're weaving them. The wheel weaves.
Weaving.
The wheels.
There's a motif there.
Okay, so Matt's liked Matt. So what about episode 1? Any particularly impactful moment from this past episode that you saw this weekend?
Oh right, I'm remembering more of the episode as we're going along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought it was really nice. Whenever we saw Egwene, between like the romance, the love between Rand and Rain, whenever like the flashback basically showing like really good like explanation or example of PTSD of that touch being
that was amazing,
twisted and turned. And I loved how they did the glass mirrors and all these different stuff, like how like it looks really pretty. Like they made this very violent scene and very like messed up scene. Like originally I thought maybe it was something psychologically like, oh, it's Rand choking her out, it's like her worst fear, but it was not fear, it was really happening. There was a lot of, okay, is this real or is this not real? But because whenever you saw Egwene go into the thing and to come out very similar to like how
Nynaeve.
How Nynaeve came out like very like quick. It was kind of okay, is this also real or is this also the trick? Which I loved how they did that with Nynaeve. That was so beautifully well done.
Yeah.
To your point right there, the opposites of Egwene throughout the entire episode, showing her love and devotion to protect Rand, right? And then going into the Arches and having to take out Rand, and then coming out of it and saying it was terrifying, but was I there? No. Like she flat out lied to him.
No, I don't think that was a lie. I think that was a like it wasn't.
Well,
you.
she might have. True. Okay. Good call. I didn't take it that way, but that's possible. But yeah, it was interesting, that whole juxtaposition of her emotions.
So I guess how do we, since we've all seen Nynaeve's test and we saw Egwene's test, I know that it would have affected the pacing to like go into and do an entire test, but Egwene's my favorite character, so I would have wanted to see the entire test.
Yes.
I have heard an explanation from some people that it wouldn't have only bogged down the show, but it also was unnecessary because we know her traumas of like what was, what is, and what will be, right? The what will be would be Rand obviously going mad. What was the Shan Chan presumably. So she's had her trauma plenty on the screen. Max, were you upset that we didn't get to see the whole test, or do you think what they did was good enough?
I understood why they did it. It made complete sense why they did it that way. It would have been, seeing more of a show, I'm going to be happy to see more, period. I mean, it'd be cool to see all of that and to see a little more of her character development through her past, because we don't see her as a little. We don't really know too much of her past. At least I don't remember too much of her past directly at this present moment. It would have been always great to get more content, to see more. I would love that. But I think it was okay that we did. I think the story still progressed and it still showed a lot of what would needed to be shown. I liked what they did choose to show.
Okay.
Because that's her biggest fear, like at least at the present moment, is having to put him down.
Right.
Yeah. And I can't remember what show I was on. I don't know if it was one of your X Spaces or if it was Way of the Leaf, where we actually discussed whether we were going to get the full Egwene accepted test, and I want to say a couple of us were like, no, we're not.
And I was like, for sure we are. They wouldn't keep that from us.
No. I like Kritter said, we already saw it. We already saw it through Nynaeve. So
Yes.
Nice. Megmaz in the chat says, I think we will see more of it. I think they want mystery for what exactly happened in the what will be. I could see that. Especially because, for example, in season 1, I was utterly disappointed that we didn't get more Winter Night, which is when Rand
Yes.
was bringing his dad back to the Two Rivers after his dad was injured.
Yep.
But we didn't see it because they were keeping the dragon a secret, and they couldn't show us that Rand found out that he was born on the slopes of Dragon Mountain by an Aiel woman, right?
Yeah.
So, like, whatever.
The fever dream came in later, yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
one part of the book I actually did read.
there you go. So,
I was a little confused on that. I was like, I'm missing all of what I read. Okay, cool.
so that came back in episode 7, so there's a chance that
Yeah.
they would do something like that again, where Egwene will have some kind of flashbacks or whatever from her test. Possible.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind it, because, again,
Wouldn't mind at all.
I love
Okay,
it.
so on a completely different note,
Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask. Okay.
we got some kissing with
Yes.
Ooh.
Elaine and Avienda.
There's
So
kissing all around. There's a lot of
there
kissing.
was a lot of kissing from the two girls. Like, did you see that approaching, or was that kind of out of nowhere? Like,
Oh, I mean, like the direct kiss, or like any of it, because
any of
The
it
moment-
with them building.
the moment
Yeah.
they were like kind of paired off for a second, the eyes met, and it was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna be together.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
Yes.
I instantly knew what
The
was
chemistry,
happening.
insane.
I already-
They built that up pretty quick.
Yeah, I already had some thoughts and some questions, like kind of why when she was healing him, why she had like a halo behind her, but that's like episode before.
Oh,
at the end of the
finale
season.
in the finale.
That's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
But like
Yeah.
it was coming. It was kind of obvious. Like it to me that something was gonna happen there. It was great. It was cute. I was like, oh, love that for them. Cool. They found someone, and that's not a pairing I would have originally like thought of having, like the princess and this warrior.
Right?
Very random. I mean, it makes sense to be written in a book, like a princess and a warrior. Duh. But
You are not allowed
Writing
to read
itself.
the books.
Yeah, I
You
know
are
I'm not
reading.
going to. I've been told.
Read the books.
Wow.
But no, it's great.
Okay, my question was going to be kind of similar, and that was there anything in episode 1 that took you completely by surprise?
I really did think that when Moraine and Lan were in their own room just listening to everything, I'm like, okay, this has to be a dream. This has to be fake. This can't be real. And
Oh yeah,
with the gray man actually physically stabbing her, I was like, okay, so this definitely can't be real. Like people are literally getting like the axe in the chest, axe in the hand, like they're actually getting hurt right now. Like this is not.
yeah.
You can't hurt the main people. That's the armor. You know, that's the written armor right there. But
You can actually.
but you can't actually
Oh,
hurt
Stabbed
them.
Nynaeve 11 times, apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a lot of stabbing. It also reminded me of that scene in particular. Reminded me of Lord of the Rings when they're at the Prancing Pony and they're
Oh.
listening to the Nazgul
Stab the pillows.
the ring ray stab the pillows. Yeah.
Mm.
Very similar to Aragorn. Yeah, you have Lan and Aragorn that are very similar. So yeah, I was like, and by the way, that's a great scene from Lord of the Rings. So it was very suspenseful in this episode.
So the fact that Lan and Moraine teamed up with Lanfear, that has been controversial
Ooh,
for some
yeah.
people. I didn't exactly pick up that that's what was happening. Like, you know, obviously Lanfear
I
and
did
Moraine were team tier. And then the thing happened, and something similar to this, but not exactly in the same way, happens in the books. And so I assume book readers were like, "Oh, that this is happening." But then we find out that it was actually Lanfear, and we were like, "What?"
Yeah.
And that Lan and Moraine are just sitting there not doing anything. So obviously, like the
God.
dots were connected, but I was flummoxed for a lot of it because I just couldn't believe that Moraine would be on board with that.
My thing was, could they? I mean, they could hear the thumping.
You could hear the screaming. Like,
Yeah.
That's the
It was
thing,
a
though.
Huge fight happening.
You could hear the thumping. I want to say that like they didn't know what was going on with Matt, right? Because there were two things happening. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're talking about episode 1. So there's two things happening. We had the Gray Man, and then we had whatever was happening to Rand and Egwene and Matt. They just happened to happen at the same time, which blew my freaking mind. So yeah, I mean, it was very weird. Like I said, I don't know if they heard everything that was going on. I know that Lan didn't really move until he heard Nynaeve screaming his name.
a few times.
Yeah. He finally said, fuck this, I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know what they heard.
Just to iterate though, when the dark one, the one that was doing the stuff, what was her name again? Forgot.
Lanfear?
Lanfear. Yeah.
Lanfear did mention that she was also one in control of the cards. The cards was also her. The cards and the mirrors were both her.
And the axe.
It was
Don't forget
and the axe. That was
Oh,
the most,
the
I think
axe.
that was the most intense scene of all, personally.
Yeah.
That felt a lot more
And like,
real.
ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Watching that was painful.
There was a lot of, oh my God, that hurts so
Beautifully well
much.
done.
Yeah.
Did that very well.
Yeah. The thing about the Wheel of Time, too, is like the one power can be so devastatingly harmful, but there were people taking mortal wounds left and right. But
Yeah.
because of the one power also being able to heal, you're like, no, you actually have to finish people off. Otherwise, they're probably coming back if they're anywhere near a channeler. So Nynaeve getting stabbed that many times obviously sucked, but she's fine.
But they
she'll make it.
prepared us for that with that incredible freaking Leandrin.
Yeah, right. Because
Yeah.
Leandrin was like, I thought they killed her.
I
My
thought-
reaction was like,
Oh my God.
what? Like, because we had seen her in the trailer later.
Yep.
Like, and so I was just
Yeah,
like,
so-
what's happening?
Yeah, that was so crazy. But again, that's why I was saying you see the power of a freaking Aes Sedai and her warders. They got through everybody to her with a quickness.
Yeah.
But going back to the thing with Matt and them, Matt got out the easiest out of this.
Yeah, the cards was just like, what does that even do?
Because
Like,
the cards weren't attacking him. I don't know what the fuck they were attacking.
He was having an internal monologue. That they weren't giving us.
Right. They
He was
didn't give it to
having a
us.
battle in his mind. Is what it looked like to me.
Okay.
And there was spurts of blood on the card, so I don't know what took place.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll touch back on it later.
They might do flashbacks with him.
That was
I
weird.
hope that
it was
they talk
that
about
one was different. It's similar but different to what happened in the books.
Yeah.
I was like, is
Yeah.
that all?
Yeah.
Like, is that all that's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
I was waiting for something more.
Yeah, same.
Was there symbolism between the cards and the 5 people
Yeah.
at all? Or
There was.
They
Okay.
were well. I think this is fair to say because if you were to like
Or if you
rewatch the episodes with like
Yeah.
a fine tooth comb,
And we
you
will.
you would notice that
Yes.
the Heroes of the Horn mirrored some of the cards, right?
Yeah.
So there was
Okay.
there was a girl with an arrow, bow and arrow, like that's one of the heroes. There's I think was Ardor Hawkwing. There was like a king, I assume.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Ardor
no,
Hawkwing,
They
yeah.
they were
It
Heroes
was
of
like
the
King,
Horn.
Queen, Arrow. I'm trying to remember what else because I definitely
There was the
didn't get
Jack
that.
with the sword.
I want to get more. Oh yeah, him speaking the old tongue was also very
Oh my
interesting.
God.
I'm really excited
Oh,
about
yes.
showing that progression, I guess, and him fighting against his own memories is something they were touching on.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be really cool. That's gonna be
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah, so let's talk about Matt for a second. I know we already talked about Matt, but for
Matt.
me,
Y'all love Matt. I'm
he
very
was the
excited.
We
he
do.
was the highlight like of this
Okay.
episode. I
This
This
is
is
gonna be really
great.
cool later.
He was
He
so
is definitely the diva
he was so
Yeah.
of
funny.
the episode.
But also so broody, like funny and broody. Which before we just got broody, and so I don't
Yeah.
know. It's his like the Maiden's Kiss is super fun. I saw in the chat the Dusty Wheel asked, "Do we believe that Loyal played Maiden's Kiss?"
Let's vote. Let's vote right now on the show.
he was invited.
I think-
he was
I think he
invited.
played.
Oh,
I think he played. I think Loyal played.
He was invited.
I think he
So-
would have been taking notes. I don't think.
I
he
don't
played.
think he played,
Yeah,
but
I don't think he played.
but it her
was the only
saying
one.
that her saying that was also her taking control of the moment,
Mhm.
which I thought was so cool.
Not
That's
only
what
that,
like-
but just showing
Yeah.
that the Aiel are accepting of everyone.
I mean,
Every
very
Got to
open-minded.
sample around.
Yeah.
Very open-minded.
Oh man, so many things I can say right now that'll get us
I know.
banned, so I'm not
I
gonna
know.
say it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so we only have a few minutes left with you. And so the two other questions I have that I always ask are favorite and least favorite characters.
Ooh.
I wanted to know
why?
that too.
Yeah. I can't wait to ask you this later because we're going to beg you to come
There
back
are
again
wrong answers. Is
and
all.
see if it changes.
There's
Yeah.
No, there
With
are
this
no
current
wrong
name, I will not
answers.
be repeating again tonight. My bad. I won't say her name again. My bad.
There are no wrong answers. You're good.
Okay. Okay. Based on the growth we're seeing, I know later on I'm gonna love Matt a lot more, but that's not one of my answers. That's no later. Like based on his growth, I'm gonna absolutely love him later. But
Okay.
I don't know if I have really a favorite. There's some things, there's some aspects of certain characters that I absolutely adore these aspects of them. Like the fact, Egwene's just how dedicated she is and how like self-control, how much self-control she really has is just amazing. It is very inspiring and fantastic. I hate what happened to her, but you could see the you could see like her being less in control and being just kind of using her ability and using her power and like learning how to just roar instead of controlling it, if that makes sense. And I'm really excited to see how she progresses. So I guess if I had to pick a favorite, she's definitely like high up there.
Yeah.
Of course, you know,
Critter so happy, by the way.
Yeah.
of course, Perrin I
so
absolutely
much
adore as well. I love Perrin so fucking much. He's so cool. He's so cool.
You say
Perrin?
Perrin?
Perrin, hell yeah.
Yes.
So cool. He's so
100%.
cool.
He's
Yeah.
all right.
That's a great reaction about Perrin.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about season 3 versus 2, I prefer. I mean, I really loved how Ogier. I loved his aesthetic the previous season a little more than the newest one. It seemed a lot more real. Like this one seems a lot more like sharp edges and like it just seems more mythical and less like it just felt real. It felt flesh in the previous seasons. This one felt a little more like he has things on.
Prosthetics and
Yeah.
stuff.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So we heard Egwene and Perrin.
Yes, I would say like a love.
sure.
I hate. I mean, if I had to pick someone, I mean, I could say I don't like the nephew of the teacher
Moraine.
of Moraine.
Okay.
The nephew.
Oh wow.
Barthanas.
I mean,
That's reaching.
He was that's reaching. I don't know who I don't
How
like.
about, how
I mean,
about
they're all-
somebody in the chat actually is asking about a certain character that maybe
Yes, okay,
you won't
good.
like.
Cool.
They're the Forsaken who creates Greymen, Mogedion,
Ooh.
the creepy.
I don't think we've met them yet. That's
Yeah.
one at the very end.
At the very end, she was the one
She
who
was
had the guy tied up in the spider
That's what
webs.
that
The
was.
webs, yeah. She's
Yeah.
That was,
the
She
no.
tied Lanfear up too.
Lanfear was the son that kept saying Two Rivers, right? Was that the guy or was that a different guy?
No.
No, okay.
That's Bornhold. We're talking about at the end of season 2.
Yes. Oh,
She was the one
Yeah.
where Lanfear walked in the room and she was waiting for her,
and he was
and at the end of season
This episode.
3, episode 1, she had the guy hanging.
Sprung up. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
strung up.
was the
Yeah, that's the
Ooh.
same woman from the end of season 2. Yeah.
Interesting.
She's one
And
of
now
the
that I know
Forsaken.
that it's the nephew who was supposed to be the to-be king. I wonder if she's gonna make him a full gray or if she's gonna keep him.
That
looking
actually wasn't him.
It wasn't him. Wait.
No,
that wasn't
was a
him
white
hanging.
cloak.
Yeah, actually, we need to talk about that.
A lot is happening.
No, I understand that it's
Mhm.
there's a lot of characters.
Yes.
and the character that was tied up was a brand new character that we
Yeah,
had.
that's
we
right.
don't know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
So,
But
you're-
to answer your original question about what my thoughts on her was, I don't know her, so I can't really have thoughts. I mean, I think her character design's fantastic.
Yes.
I think she's really freaking cool. Her speech pattern is it's itching my brain. I know someone has the exact same speech pattern, so my brain's like itching back here, but like in a good way. But I'm just like, I'm very interested in seeing what she does because her I don't know what the term is, but at the end of the episode when she's talking about how you used to call me weak, or you kept repeating that same phrase over and over again.
Softly
Like-
from the shadows.
Exactly, such a good phrase.
Yeah,
But like,
great
I'm assuming like over these last 3,000 years, she's gone maybe a little mad, and like how she keeps saying it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. But she also seems so cool. I love her because she has so much power and so much control, and she shows that power while speaking softly, which I think has its own fantastic and beautiful impact.
Yes.
It's like I'll speak to you like this while actively slicing your throat. Like you got that while I'm actively like butchering you. And it's just
We're sending a gray man to stab you 11 times.
Like
Jeez.
she's showing
Well
beauty
done.
within. Showing beauty within madness, beauty within like terrifying things, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the visuals of that spiderweb situation.
Oh my god, it's
that
amazing.
looked really cool.
Yeah.
Out of control. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't want to keep you longer than we said we would keep you.
I'm good, period. But yeah.
You good, period. Okay, does anybody have any final questions for Max?
Okay, one more question
Yeah.
then. What are your thoughts on the white cloaks?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a good question.
They're misunderstood.
Wow,
No!
not you, Tad. Not you.
Good reaction. They are
Run
understood.
I think we're gonna get a lot more background about like 3,000 years ago if there's some touch into that, or like what like the past is there. Because I feel like there's a lot more story towards the development of them, or like why they hate so much. Because it doesn't really make sense. Like here, like these women, like yeah, they can do these things, but if you actually look at the society, that's not happening. Like they're literally actively helping people. They're literally actively like in each of these little villages. There's the one wisdom that actively heals people, helps people, like does all these amazing great things. I don't see a reason to be like sexist here. Like I don't like where's the one bad person that you decided you all are angry now because of? Like where's the I don't like them. There's no like when they started fighting the battle, like they started like rushing the city. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna kill like the slave owners. That's great, yay! And they switched. And they said, kill the witches. I'm like, damn it! Like, like can you just stick to killing the people that are literally slave owners? Like you had that. Shut up! Like stop. Like you. I don't know.
I'm
like,
excited if the show treats them the way I hope they treat them. I'm excited for them to get more like development. Like
okay.
Because it's very like the Aes Sedai, right? Because there's Black Aja, there's regular green Aja, blue Aja. Everybody's different, and it kind of depends on whether they and in a lot of religions, are you taking the text and following it to the letter without really thought towards the consequence, or are you interpreting it in such a way to like benefit the world? There's a lot of different interpretations. There's different white cloaks who think different things about how they should be operating in the world, basically. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Are the designs and emblems the exact same, or do they kind of change that as like to show what denomination I guess they are?
So there are different white cloaks, and it sounds like you kind of notice some of them have like the crook on their arm, and those are the questioners, right? They're the guys who torture people. So Eamon Valda, the one who really hates Perrin, he's a questioner, I think, if I'm remembering right. Yeah.
And to be fair, every season Perrin seems to piss off another white cloak. I'm waiting for this season.
Why Max likes Perrin, maybe.
I also just love Wolf since I was a kid, and I'm like, you have really cool eyes. Oh, he's just a good character. Period. He's a quiet giant. He's he's just
that is a perfect description.
Yes. Yeah, you nailed it.
It is.
Okay, there was a question in chat when you first came on that I was interested in, of course, because it was about me. So normally we have like a critter overshare moment. So you're going to kind of fill this in for us.
Here we go.
They asked for an interesting detail about Winespring, since you're my nephew and I'm your auntie. But keep it cool.
Ooh,
Gosh,
I'm gonna tell you this about the sword.
Oh,
when I was really, really young, like every once in a while, like a weekend here and there, maybe once a month, maybe every once in whatever, I would go and spend the weekend with them, and we'd do all these different fun things. They'd sleep until like 9. I wake up at 5 in the morning, watch all these movies I shouldn't watch. That's
they
other
is
stuff.
me, by the way.
Yes, as Weinstein. Yeah, specific. But one year, you went on this giant trip to
a lot of places.
Yes.
Yes.
But you came back with this really, really cool pitch black, like little wooden sword that had like this awesome, like dragon style design carved into it. I feel like you have it in the room. Is it in the room?
I feel like she's reaching for it.
She has it.
There it is.
Listen, there's not a prop that is out of reach for Winespring.
Can you show the camera?
I have plenty of weapons within.
Show the camera, Winespring. Show
the camera. I haven't seen it in 5 years, so like.
That's
cool. It's been so long since I've seen that.
That's like...
Is that what she used to beat you with?
Yes. I mean, no.
I never had to. He's perfect.
No, but that's a fun little backstory thing that was given to me a long time ago. And then like 8 years back, they kind of like reclaimed it, and there was like a whole like one day I'll give it to your kid kind of thing, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not. All I know is it's still a memory, like a cool little thing that is
nice.
That's character arc. That's not character arc. That's backstory, I guess.
Backstory. Okay, one more question for you before we let you go. How's that sound? Okay, we've got somebody in the chat, Jesus AW, saying, or sorry, maybe Jesus. Sorry,
Jesus.
Could be Jesus.
Either way.
It's very telling that it seems that show viewers usually don't even mention Rand.
Ooh.
How do you feel about Rand?
This is gonna get some.
No,
I'm gonna
give
get
it to
this
us.
one.
We
No,
want to know.
please be honest.
So
100%.
fucking boring. He is.
Don't give it to us in the show. In the show now.
No, I want to know.
I'm sorry. He's token. He's basic. There's nothing. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this, like when I saw all of them, I saw like the one like blue-eyed, like the blue-eyed, blonde hair, like pretty white guy. I'm like, he's gonna be it. It's gonna be fucking him. And it was. I was like,
Oh, no.
He's like an Aiel meal that was cooked but never seasoned.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He goes from being very like I'm quiet and controlled and to like screaming. Like it like there's no. It's one.
You're getting a lot of people agreeing with you, by the way.
There's
a
one
lot
or
of
100. There's 100. Also, I'm very curious on if Moraine didn't step in when she did and stab the Dark One, what was actually going to happen? Because we see like from the TV perspective, from the viewers, there's a whole history.
Are you talking about with Lanfear?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a whole history between her and him in his past lives there. That she seems to actually really like him or like want. Which we're gonna see in the next season. We see like some of the clips, some of the just like in this season it shows like more things happening there.
Yeah.
Which I won't get into too much in case you didn't see it yet or you want to enjoy it yourself. Heck yeah. But like it shows that either she still needs something, some kind of attachment there. So what was actually gonna happen if Moraine didn't step in? Like she showed him like I'm also what was gonna happen there? Like, was she just gonna like? Could he have been turned easier? Like, could he be in turn? Like, could he ended up being turned? Like, towards the end of the episode, he's like, "I've never been turned, so is it possible to turn him?" Like, there's a whole lot of like questions that have raised, but I'm very curious on what's gonna happen in that.
I think that was her goal, right?
Mhm.
I think everybody's in agreement that was her goal at the end of, or not the end of that season, but during that scene, that she was trying to turn him on the spot. One, because she loves Lews Therin.
Very much.
And two, because she's always going to try to turn him because she wants to be with him. So, but yeah, that was a good catch.
Dana Luhu is concerned, and she wants you to know.
Okay.
She wants to make it clear that
Yeah.
Lanfear, while incredibly powerful and intimidating, she is not the Dark One. The Dark One is the big bad.
Oh yeah.
The BB.
Oh yeah, I know.
The BBEG or whatever you call
Yeah,
it.
we haven't
BBEG.
been.
Yeah.
Big bad evil guy, yeah.
Yeah, we
Just
haven't at all.
wanted to
been-
make sure.
Yeah.
We're all on
I'm
the
not
same
gonna lie.
page.
I just hope it isn't some. I'm gonna say this when I'm trying not to look at your faces when I say this, but I really hope that it isn't some basic trope at who the actual baddie is. Like you're
Like the Wizard of Oz. You
Like-
wanted to be the Wizard of Oz?
Your father.
Guys.
Like I still want it to be some basic trope of like the original dad to the good one, or like the original like some original attachment to the first,
Like the way
one,
they
or,
finished the new Star Wars movies.
Oh,
You're actually a Palpatine. Sorry, spoilers.
Hey.
Those have been out for so long at this point.
Yeah. No, I get it. Okay.
Like I'm very interested to see how the actual wheel attached to it, how the guy who ended up dying to the blade, which there's at least two other blades we know of. The king who got killed quickly has the blade. That blade was on him when he died, and then Lan has a blade that still has that crest on it. He has the crest on his hand too, which is very, very interesting. Very excited to see what's going on with that. What was the point of what I was saying?
Rand.
I lost it.
Rand, the Dark One.
I'm just interested to see like what they do with that, and I'm sure we won't touch on who the actual Dark One is until like season from now, because again they have 6 new baddies to show, so they're going to milk that, and there's going to be what you say possibly 8 seasons. That was
I think so.
I mean,
Hopefully,
that's the
as long as
goal.
they keep getting approved.
We want more, but
they could very easily. I mean, hope they don't make it perfectly like this, but they could very easily milk it where it's like 1 baddie per season, and then like the big baddie. But I would actually like to see some of these characters working together for something, because it's very simple to have one, then the next, then the next, then the next, but that's kind of too common. I see the actual bad guy helping each other kind of thing, like actual like
It's like
how you think they would.
It's like that White Cloak fight where Dane is like, "Don't come at her by yourself; she'll take you out," and then they all come at her by themselves.
Yeah,
that's what you mean.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
And not, I mean, this shouldn't be a spoiler really, but there were more baddies in the books than what we have on the show.
Interesting.
They cut it down.
They cut it down.
They had to. Yeah.
Yeah, we know exactly how many there were, but since you're not going to read it for 20 years, we're going to wait till you read it and then find out.
Okay.
Perfect. He
Listen,
disagreed.
I'm not getting on her bad side, dude.
I think we've kept Max long enough.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you. We love your insight. We hope you will come back. And at the end, whenever people leave, we always give them the opportunity to say their piece, like whatever you want to sign off on. It could be about the show. It could be about something you're thinking. You know,
I literally had notes.
Your channel. You can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want to talk about for very quickly, like a few little things I had on this about that I really liked. Of course, I had mentioned earlier, like what is the darkness actually? Like, what is it? Where did it actually come from? Because if 3,000 years prior, it wasn't prevalent or wasn't shown. Okay, so who created? Did the Dark One create it?
Okay, so it's popped up in chat a couple of times. There is a
wait. Don't spoil it if it's going to show up. Okay.
No. It was part of season 1.
Okay.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. There was a slight generalization of what happened.
Oh, when Maureen's like the arrogance.
Right, and where the taint came from in season 1. Okay. So you just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, throw it out.
But there's more to unravel there. You're totally right. If you missed,
it was basically a group of men thought that they could cage the Dark One, and they tried to do it themselves. The arrogance, and it didn't work out, and they got their half of the one power got tainted.
That okay. I have to rewatch those first few episodes again. Remember that.
We'll revisit it. I think this season.
Yes. Yeah, I think we will.
That's good. I loved Moraine getting her power back was a beautiful scene. That was a really fantastic scene.
Yep.
Watching Nynaeve go back and do the third test, I think was incredibly well done. Yes. Like beginning of it, whenever just like quick and what happened, I'm confused, coming back out better not to remember. And then having actually that being the test, incredibly well done. That was like so that was shown so well that I had no idea that was going on. And I was very interested whenever the door closed the first time we saw it close, it was like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Obviously she's gonna come back, but how was made me very interested, very excited. The end, whenever she held and ran back through, I had two thoughts. One, God, please let it happen. Let it actually
let the girl go through.
Let it happen. Like that would be, oh my God, that'd be amazing. That could be that could be such an amazing thing. Because now, okay, so what is this? Like that's a whole like other arch. What is this child from? What is blah blah blah? Like what does this mean for the creation from nothing? Blah blah blah. Is she part of the wheel? Is she not? All that stuff.
Yes, exactly.
It could have been so cool. But
that's one of the things that they got almost perfectly from the books.
Is it real? Is it
real?
No.
Real. And not only did they show us that it was real for the characters, they made it real for us watching.
Yeah.
It was fucking beautiful.
The emotion was beautiful.
Yeah.
When I actually did cry. It's very specific things can maybe make me cry. That got me, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I bought it.
Was there anything else really quickly? This was kind of more of a nitpicky thing, but the fighting speed in the last episode for the season 2, whenever Hopper passed away, whenever Hopper, the speed of the battle, I really didn't like how they did that, because our dude was on his back for so long, not moving, not doing anything, not grabbing his weapon. Like there was a lot of time that the moment you're in the middle of a battle, like yes, there's gonna be some shock, but your adrenaline's still kicking in so much. The moment you see that you're okay for a second, grab your weapon and do your thing. The fact that you just stayed there and waited for at least minimum 10 seconds for that to happen, and then the guy who attacked him originally, he got up and he ran away.
Yeah.
You were trying to kill this guy 10 seconds ago. I know the moment you get scared, the moment you get in trouble, you instantly, which showed the first season 2. The moment the guy broke free, he instantly went from, I'm going to kill you, to, Don't hurt me, sir. Like it would like, but it didn't make any sense to me why you would go from like "rawr, I'm gonna murder you, butcher you" to "I'm gonna run away now," even though you're still on the ground without a weapon. Like, but it's just little things like that. That was something that really bugged me because I mean, if I see an animal in this, when I see an animal in this, I know what's gonna happen. Whenever the animal left, like whenever the scene with him fighting, I'm like, cool, the dog's gonna show up and it's gonna and then that's gonna happen. I knew it was happening before it even happened. But it's like, can you at least make it seem like it's like proper timing? Like, don't make it seem like he just watched it happen for no reason.
They just played it unrealistically for dramatic effect, essentially.
Oh, for sure. Because the book readers needed to cry for a second.
Yeah. That was that literally was a gift to book readers.
Yeah, it was tough.
A gift, like a mean gift.
It was. Like I mean, well, we knew it was coming.
Service we don't want.
And I think they were giving Hopper more time on screen.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with his pack in the future, if it's going to be more people oriented or animal oriented and everything around that, because there's a lot. Like when you asked for the sentence earlier and I said we're gonna get a lot of little separate stories, was because they're all separated, they're all going different places. So I'm very excited to see the individual growth through the characters. I'm not gonna lie, because it's all separated, I'm very concerned I'm gonna get like 10 minutes of your story, 10 minutes of your story. I'm gonna get like, just give me more of this one. So we'll see how they actually address the splitting up of telling of stories. If it's like entire episode just you, or if it's going to be.
I do wonder how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't like have me clawing at the wall waiting for like 2 minutes of the next thing. If that makes sense.
I will say that if I'm not mistaken, somebody posted up the times for all the episodes that were put out somewhere, and I want to say all but 2 episodes this season are over an hour.
That's nice.
Yeah. That is
nice.
We need it.
Yeah.
For the content.
Yeah.
Sorry. There was one. Oh God, what was it? I can't remember exactly when I wrote this down for a particular reason. I think they were all together, and someone shows. Oh yes, the little fighting scene when the Gray showed up and actively attacked and stabbed Nynaeve, and didn't go after anyone else, or no one else got like directly attacked by this other person. Why was Nynaeve specifically the one being attacked? What about Nynaeve is this person seeing that they're like, out of all of them, out of the literal dragon, I want this one dead. I want this one gone. Why specifically was like she the one being targeted? Which I'm very excited to see.
I can't answer that question specifically, but I will say that at the end of season 2, Mughedian says he belongs to us now. They all do.
All 5.
Yeah. So.
But she did go for Nynaeve.
She did go for Nynaeve first.
And it's a good question. It is a good question.
I thought of something that I feel like I couldn't say, but I also want to ask, but I also feel like you can't answer.
Okay, it could be a WAFO, but we'll let you know.
So earlier it showed early in the season when you were going to the fortune teller, and it showed a bunch of them together. I'm not sure if Nynaeve was there or not. Was she with the 5 of them?
When I went to the fortune teller.
What, like when she was the one who could see people's futures.
Okay.
Yes. Was Nynaeve with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like in Paldara in season 1?
Yes.
Yeah, she was there.
Okay, I just want to ask because it showed like literally so like these 5 are attached, but also there's a certain new character who popped in, and I was like 5. Is she one of the 5? Oh, no, she makes 6.
Okay.
Is she actually? Where is she fit in this?
Is Nynaeve one of the 5?
Elaine.
Elaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, where is Elaine fit in this? Because it seems like there's some attachment here when she had like the goddess light behind her, like the whole Halo scene.
I love that.
All the little things, her becoming such a main like character. Like they're showing so much of her and making so much character development for her. Either she's gonna get quickly, or when there's that much character development, it's either gonna be a very like sad ending or there's a reason.
Hopefully this season explains that for you.
No spoilers.
I'm not
oh yeah, 100%.
Speaking of spoilers, I think the chat is ready for full spoilers.
Okay, all right. That not to kick you out.
I'm not going to kick you out. I'm just
Very good.
As long as we addressed all of your little thoughts, questions
I
as much as
think
we
this
could
was
without
a lot of
obviously
fun.
spoiling.
This was a
Okay,
great time.
This
well,
was
we hope you
great.
come
We're
back.
glad
This was
you're here.
amazing.
Yeah.
You were so good.
Yes.
The people in the chat, if you're not watching the chat, they love your insights. They think you're
Nice.
so. We've got a. He's a real fan.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
We've got you now.
Yeah, we've got you now. Yeah. They.
At least for the next 300 years that it's going to take you to read the books, according to Winespring.
So you're not going to read them yet.
Not
Okay.
yet. Don't read them.
Well,
Okay.
if that's all you wanted to say for your sign off.
I am good. Nice to meet everyone. Hope you all have a fantastic night. Enjoy your
Amazing.
night. Have a good time. Take care of yourself. And hopefully I'll see y'all in the next whenever I'm asked back.
Heck yeah.
And hell yeah.
Everybody's
Hasta
Big
luego.
Brother on TikTok.
Absolutely.
Everybody, check him out.
Yeah, go
Peace
give him a
out,
follow
y'all.
and a like.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Definitely.
Thanks,
Love
Mag.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys.
Yay.
It's
We-
time.
What do we even talk about? Like, what do we talk about?
You want to start from the beginning, like after
mean,
the 11 minutes,
we don't
and
have,
then work
like-
our way through?
I mean, we don't have enough time to be like, let's talk about everything. You know what I mean?
No, we
should,
can't.
We should hit the highlights.
Okay.
So, biggest.
Matt made a dick joke. Sorry. It was
Matt-
great.
He
I
did.
just-
He did,
It was
he did,
amazing.
yeah.
Wait, which the sheep shagger one or what?
Has
Which-
anyone ever noticed the White Tower
Oh,
looks a
the-
little
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I forgot
yeah, yeah.
about that one.
Yeah,
Oh my
he made
god.
he made the penis joke.
I cracked him so much.
He also
It was
called
pretty damn
Rand
funny.
a sheep shagger, which
Yeah.
literally killed me.
Yeah.
That was so that we didn't have to. That wasn't full spoilers. We could have said that at any time, but
Right,
This
that's
is
true.
true.
That's true.
Still amazing.
Okay, let me pop up the full book spoilers
Oh yeah,
thing.
there we go. There we go.
Boop. Okay, guys, we are in the clear. Full book
Okay.
spoilers. Full book spoilers. Get the hell out of here if you haven't read all of the books.
I want to
About
start.
bring it up.
Can
Okay,
we
go
start
ahead.
with
Yeah, go ahead.
Elaine and Avienda?
That was literally what I wanted to start
because
with.
I have okay. So one huge twist from the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like complete 180 for Elaine from the books.
Well, not 180.
No, I wouldn't say
Whoa.
180, but what I'm
Whoa.
saying is she, the whole. Well, actually, she can still do the whole. I weirded out by the multiple partner thing.
That was
Right?
Wayne. Elaine was like, "Oh, it's part of their culture."
No, she was, but I don't know if she was 100% convinced. Anyways, what I want to get at is Avienda, because in the books we know that Avienda knows that Elaine has a thing for Rand, and she's supposed to be watching him, and she ends up, we got the igloo. In this, I think she can still follow that storyline, but with a twist in which she's with Elaine, and she still feels bad because she connects with Rand later on. And so she still has that inner turmoil that she's done Elaine dirty, but in a
different
backwards.
way.
Yeah.
Interesting. So many people. This is cracking me up. The people on the timeline being like, "This is completely different from the books. How could they possibly be romantic?" And I'm like,
Shocked. Yes.
"What?"
It wasn't 100% different, but to
The
me, it
sub-
wasn't as strong.
The
Yeah.
subtext in the books was, to me, romantic. And people who are like, "Oh, they became first sisters. That's so weird. They're like siblings." Like, Bane and Chiep were first sisters.
Yeah, what do you think First Sisters is? What
Yeah,
they share everything.
So anyways, I think that this was Rafe and co. taking the subtext from the books that RJ was just a little too nervous to add to the books because of the times and putting it straight on the screen.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I think that this doesn't have to change. I think that's actually a really good way, Tav, to make Avi's arc very similar, is that she's still guilty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, polyamory is just the goal, the end result of what's going to happen. I assume. I think there'll be a polycule. I don't think it'll be Rand having a harem anymore. Which is,
Megan
which
just
is
mentioned
okay.
that. She goes,
Yeah.
"We're going to try to make it a polyamorous relationship rather than a polygamous one."
look at us! I didn't see that, but yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
This
Yeah.
makes sense in my mind. Winespring, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I like the idea where it's a little more involved than just like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we didn't really talk. We keep not talking about Rand, but
Oh my gosh.
First of all, I think Rand in this episode was the best Rand so far.
Yeah.
He was so Dragon Reborn coded.
Yep.
And
Yes.
his little interactions with these two were so perfectly aligned with the books in my mind, right? Avienda, antagonistic. Elaine, consultative. Even though it was like, I want to say it wasn't romantic, but like it was very... They had chemistry. They just did objectively, I think.
Yes.
So I thought they did that really well in my
I loved how he surprised Avienda at the end with kind of taking what she's been saying to him seriously.
Yeah.
Which was also taking what Elaine told him also.
He basically took both of their advices and said, yeah, screw this, we're not going to Tyr, we're going to the freaking waste. And then there's the relationship he still has with Egwene.
Oh my gosh.
Which is one I will say that it was probably the most shocking, and it shouldn't have been, because from the very first season they have taken PTSD so seriously on this show, and they've represented it so well. It shouldn't have surprised me how they integrated it into this first episode. But I was pleased to see it because it validates a lot of people out there and what they're going through. And to be honest, for a long time, my kids couldn't even hug me. So I completely understood where that was coming from. Yeah.
That's so good. Like, I'm glad that you shared your perspective on that, because obviously, like, I could see it and, like, in theory, kind of like, oh, this could make sense, but not having lived through it myself, like, I'm glad that we have your perspective on that.
No, it was a very interesting part of the episode, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Full Metal Athlete in the chat says every character was the truest to their book characters that we've seen so far. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, and Rafe said it. Well, he said that this season 3 was going to be the closest to the books yet,
and I agree with that so far.
Yeah, and as
one
far
episode
as
we're like, yes, we agree.
Yeah, and as far as no, he's absolutely right. The characters themselves are the epitome of the characters from the books.
Yeah.
So they're doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, I agree.
What happened?
It's fine. I moved the background.
Oh,
but nothing really happened.
I was like, what happened?
It was just me being silly. Just silly shit. But let's see. What do we have? Okay, sorry. I was just reading the chat. I got distracted.
Yeah, it's going so fast. It's so hard to keep up.
How do you guys feel about the surprise save by Moraine?
I was waiting for it. I mean,
You actually thought that was... I was not expecting that at all.
Really?
I thought she was going to get help, but I didn't think it was going to be Moraine. Because Moraine can be cold that way.
Between
like,
me,
no joke.
For me, it was she's going to die here, which would be a huge shock. Literally, I haven't edited my reaction, yet, but I'm pretty sure I was literally like... because I thought they were going to kill her. But on the other hand, I was waiting for Moraine to show up because they showed her in the streets. So I was like, this would have the most impact. So that's the choice I wanted them to make, and they made it. So
I was like hitting Mr. Moonbat. I was like, it has to be Mo. It has to be Mo. It has to be Mo. Like it had to be Mo, and it was
cool.
And then she was so badass, just like
my thoughts
turning and walking away.
My thoughts was that it was going to be Reds that saved her.
Oh, that would have been really good, actually.
That's what I was thinking when it first came down and all of a sudden it stopped. I was like, oh, the Reds showed up to save Mother, which are going to show that they're not all Black Aja.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag
Okay.
not
I was
all
wondering why that
But
was.
when they showed Moraine, there was a couple of times where I was like, why are they still talking? Right? Because the last time we saw Moraine and Swan together, it was not pretty.
No.
And all of a sudden, now we're seeing them where they're back in kind of sync. And it was a little off-putting. I wouldn't say off-putting. It was odd to me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gosh, what else is there to?
Okay, so the moment that Egwene came out of the arch after we saw, Rand like losing it,
and what a great job he did.
Oh my god, I cried. You guys like hard. I was like, oh my god, she just probably had to kill Rand.
Yeah.
Like and just seeing her, and after seeing him being so like visceral, it was like, oh god, like it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Which was really well done.
Yeah. When she was like, "Oh, I've got the ring. I'm accepted.
Oh my gosh!
I'm out, bitches. I'm out."
Did you like that? I love that.
I thought that was Egwene. That was Egwene.
Setting us up for who we're going to see her to be. I feel like
it's interesting because some people are like, Egwene would have done anything to stay in the tower and be, and and accepted and learned or whatever. There's like one side of Egwene that I agree that would have been her. The other side, though, is Egwene throughout the books. We're full spoilers here, by the way. Full book spoilers. Get
Full
the
spoilers.
hell out of here if you haven't read all the books. I'm about to drop a major bomb. Okay.
Get the hell out of here now.
Egwene will do anything to further the light, right? Like literally sacrifice herself. And so I think like her love of Rand was obviously a factor, but the fact that he was the Dragon Reborn and needed her and she failed him the first time, or she perceived herself as having failed her the first time, she wasn't going to fail again. So her great purpose in life, I assume that she sees, is, you know, to make sure that Rand's okay so that he can face the Dark One when the time comes. Like, those two things are working in tandem for her, and it just so happens that where he's going the waste, she's going to run into the teachers that she needs to become the most epic dreamwalker of all time.
Ta'veren.
Her character needs to go through so many things to get us to where she ends up. That they have to move that timeline. Like, they just have to. They can't have her just hanging out washing the floors. Like, it won't work.
They're moving forward so fast that Egwene's disillusionment with the Aes Sedai has come way earlier in the show.
Yes.
But
way
it's perfect.
Earlier.
Like,
it is perfect. No, the timing is perfect. Yeah.
Like, it works. So I get the naysayers that, like, oh, this isn't Egwene because she would have stayed in the tower, but the tower schism is being telegraphed hard. And it's like, do I stay with these like catty bitches, or do I
go get shit done?
And
and that's Egwene.
I'm gonna get shit done. So and yes, Mrs. Angela and Bella says Egwene in the books chooses to go to the Aiel over the tower. So, like, even though it's like slightly different the way and when she decides, she still makes the same choice.
The broad strokes are still there.
100%. Which has been the case for the entire show. I think the broad brushstrokes, they're all the same. It's just
I'm trying to think.
So Perrin announced he's going back to the Two Rivers, right?
That's literally, it was like, oh, whenever he said that.
I'm trying to think of what's the next plot point we can talk about.
I am ready for that. Like, super. Now that we've like tower politics, check. Okay, now I am ready for Two Rivers and to see that happen.
The thing I loved about that whole segment of the episode was that here is Moraine saying we're all going on the field trip together, and all the students are like, I'm going to go to the Louvre. I'm going to go to the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to go over here. And none of them follow what the fuck she's saying. Like, none of them.
Yeah, good luck, Moraine.
Is it Memo who has the cartoon of, like, Moraine wrestling? Wow.
I think it was adorable. You should not fix that.
Okay. Moraine wrestling all, like, the child versions of the EF5.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what this reminded me of.
That's a good call out, actually. That's a very good
perfect call out.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's literally that. And somebody in the chat earlier said something about, like, it was why does Moraine and Lanfear both seem to want Rand away from his support system? That's not what I don't know that Moraine wanted him to be away from them. I think Moraine wanted him to be motivated to go to Tyr. Like, whoever comes with him, whatever, doesn't matter. She wanted him to go to Tyr so that he could, like, continue fulfilling the prophecies and take Kalendor and make sure another Forsaken didn't get Kalendor. That's what I gathered from it, but I also haven't rewatched the episode. So
I also
I know.
I don't know.
I also think that Moraine is finally realizing that the five of them matter more to get to each other than what the pattern has, and the prophecies have stated. Yes. Because you had one that was a hornblower, you had another one that did this. So I think she's seeing the connection, and that all of them together are way stronger than they are apart. So yeah, that's interesting.
Well, they have their Ta'veren-ness that's working.
Yeah, I also like the fact that they keep mentioning Elaine is a daughter heir and a princess, but yet Moraine is using her as a messenger. She walks, he goes,
Swan's like,
Moraine will see us all now.
And Swan's like, I need to talk to these two. Like, Elaine's just constantly. It's so funny.
Seeing her arc, when she really starts showing up, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, but the thing is, she stands up to people like Nynaeve, but she's like totally bows down to the Aes Sedai. Like, but she was brought. That's how she was brought up.
I mean, the Amerlin seat's a different story, right? Like, Amerlin, if you're gonna bow to anybody, that's who you're gonna bow to. Gosh,
amazing.
yeah. I was living for the scenes where they were together. Oh, the snakes and foxes. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yay! Yes.
I think.
game.
Do we all agree that we are getting, at minimum, door frame, at maximum actual Finn in this season?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think actual Finn though.
There was a conversation on X. Somebody had said something about the doorway or whatever because it didn't look like with the new Matt poster that came out.
It looks like he was in the depository.
Right, but it's not. So the 13th repository had a circular door that Varen and Adelaus opened up.
Mm-hmm.
This looks a lot dingier and dirtier, which to me screams Tenchico. And I'm wondering if the other door frame is in Tenchico.
That's if we're getting 2 door frames this season, it's in Tenchico.
Yeah,
if we're getting 2 door frames, but one is next season, it's in Tier.
Yeah.
And he didn't have leaves coming off either. His was just like
was weird.
Almost.
Yeah.
He's the only one without leaves.
Yeah. I guess talking about the poster, I didn't show the poster, but that's okay. If you haven't seen the poster, they did a new Matt poster.
Oh,
today.
Maiden's Kiss.
Yeah.
He had a lot of stab wounds at the end of it.
He did, which is awesome.
Funny. So
yeah,
that means he tried a lot, y'all.
Well, not only that, but he also apparently didn't do very well.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But she had
he didn't
winked at him.
Yeah.
She had winked at him later, which was so freaking cute. I don't know. I was into it. And honestly,
did you see Egwene's look?
No.
I'm pretty sure it was Egwene. It was either her or Elaine, but I think it was Egwene. When she winked at her, or when she winked at him, Egwene was like,
yeah, like, oh,
like she's figuring it out. Like there's no way in hell he hooked up with the Aiel. There's no way.
Oh my god, classic. This makes me think of when Perrin and Matt were giving Rand a hard time as if he had never been with another woman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like, oh, I've been with a Forsaken, you guys. But he didn't say it. But
no,
we know.
they're like, you were with another.
It was weird though, because he was like giggly
Ragged
about
Ocean.
it. And I was like, if they knew who that was, Rand. Like he wasn't like regretful. If he was he wasn't sheepish. See what I did there? Anybody?
That was pretty
good. Yeah, that was good.
He wasn't sheepish, which to me, I would expect him to be based on who she is. So we've seen them like macking in the trailer, so we know that he's still going to be with her.
That's the thing. Yeah. In the dream, he's macking with her in the dream, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's like totally into it. So maybe, and my fingers are crossed, maybe Luce Theron is seeping through, and we get to see more of that this season.
Yeah.
Because that would be fucking great.
Yeah.
Like Max was saying, do we get to see the madness? I want to see some of it. Because we cannot go an entire series without that happening.
Well, they keep saying, like, in the advertisements, they're like, his battle between the light and the dark, or his internal struggle, or trying to stay away from turning dark, or whatever. You get it. I can't remember exactly what they say. So I think they're going to lean into
I'm
that.
hoping.
Oh, Jose Oliveira says, nah, it was fully coded for cis teen boy mentality. Like, you're talking about locker room talk. They were engaging. I guess seeing my boys Rand, Matt, and Parrot engage in locker room talk just made me like, come on, guys, you're better than that.
Not only that, but they were
though.
talking about girls like their experiences, which is the complete opposite from the books, in which they have zero freaking experience.
They're aging them up. They've aged them up.
Right. So it's like this double thing that just cracks me the hell up.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a bunch of silly shits about it. Like they're still, in this way, they were more boyish, which I thought was cute because it was more book accurate, like kind of, right? Because like you don't see them talking about girls with each other necessarily in the books as much. I don't know, but at the same time, the fact that they're acting like little boys is funny and more book accurate. In my opinion.
So great. LB or Light Blinded Fool brought up something interesting. Is my favorite part of the episode was Elaine mailing 2 letters. That was an interesting little tidbit. One went to the Queen, and who did the other one go to?
Somebody in Tyr who she wants to set Rand up with to support Rand.
Could that be Grindal?
Or no, could it be
They said she said the name. I want to
she did?
Yeah, I can't remember what the name was.
Verlaine. There we go. Maybe.
Well,
Verlaine.
somebody said maybe Verlaine. I don't know if she said the name. Did she say the name?
I thought she said the name.
I didn't catch it.
It was a very quick little bit.
Can we just get the episode so we can watch it again?
I know.
That's so sad that they took it off, but I get it.
But it is interesting too because Elaine, like, I don't know if you saw today, but it was like the cast's hot takes, and Kira was like, "We need more Tom Marilyn," and you know what? And you know what? Sending letters reminds me of Tom and all of his little Stay Mar action in the books.
Oh my god,
that is true. So do you? Okay, so
we're getting Tom at some point.
So do you think in this telling that Elaine already knows Tom?
No, but I think when she meets Tom, she's gonna clock him for what he is, like Moraine does.
Ooh, that would make her more formidable. Like she's very good, like tactician, that kind of thing. That'd be good.
Let me put a pin in that. I don't think she'll recognize Tom, but I do think they'll keep the Tom was the Bard of Camelin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like as far as like knowing him as an adult, no.
But that's what I'm saying. Since they've aged, I'm wondering if she remembers him.
Sounds like no.
I
don't know
until maybe the like drunken night situation where she eventually remembers him.
Well, clearly there's not going to be a drunken night because Elaine is the lush of the group who can outdrink Perrin. Clearly, I mean, he was like, "I've never met anybody who can drink as much as you." It was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
she did a good job.
She was great. Hold on, I got to read this. Knuckles mustache. Was I the only one who thought Moraine looked a ton like Kritter during her dramatic face lighting when they were eavesdropping on the Lanford Bubbles but not yet getting up? Literally, anytime anyone says I look like Rosamund Pike, they become my favorite person for the day.
And we love Knuckles mustache.
Knuckles, what are you doing, Knuckles? Mustache. There's no prizes to be given out here.
This is it, right?
Appreciate you. I love when I hear that, and I don't see it, but I love it because I think Rosamund is stunning.
And so are
you. So let's cover the Bubbles of Evil / Gray Man, right? Yeah. So one, the fact that they put him, that's what I was saying earlier, the fact that they brought those two together at the same time was a little bit overwhelming, if I'm not.
Yeah.
It was a bit much.
I was really confused. I was
because
like,
I even
who
called
is this
it
person? Like I
called it in the live chat for the fan thing. I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, Gray Man?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, oh wow, they're gonna hit him with Gray Man. And then shit happened, and I was like, Bubble of Evil? Like
wait, so you saw the Gray Man before the bubble of evil started?
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, I clocked him because he just looked at. You could see him behind the characters moving, and when they turned around, they weren't there.
And that's why you're green. That's why you're the green Aja. Because I was
the only time they tried to confuse us was with Matt. There was a shadow behind Matt, and when he turned, it ended up being Nynaeve. But
oh my God,
before that, the Gray Man was definitely in the background.
I am embarrassed. I did not notice. I did not notice the Gray Man.
There's so much to miss. There was so much in that episode.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are gonna make fun of me, but let me share it.
Yeah.
So that moment when Matt is in the bar area and Nynaeve walks in right before the Gray Man attacks.
Sweet. Yeah.
Her body language really reminded me of Lanfear. And we knew that Lanfear was going to be partnering with Moraine and Lan. And I was like, oh my God, like, is that actually Nynaeve? Is this actually going to be Nynaeve or not? And so I was watching.
Mask of Mirrors?
Mask of Mirrors.
Wow.
That's a good thing.
I thought, thank you for saying that. Because I was like, okay, was I reading into this? Like, because I mean, she came in with her chin up, which is very Nynaeve, but that is like, it is very Lanfear, like as far as the show goes, these motions that she was doing. Yeah. So I was like looking for other things to happen than what did.
Everyone in the chat saying when they saw the Gray Man first literally makes me I'm embarrassed. Honestly, during the Bubble of Evil scene when Nynaeve is getting attacked, I was like, is that one of the cards? Like because in the books, the guy jumps out of the cards, and I was like, okay, so one of the cards is that.
That's why I was confused because nothing was happening with the goddamn cards that we could see except for a little bit of movement and
sound. They were giving us audible fighting, and I was like, what is Matt seeing that they're not telling us? He's seeing a battle. Like,
it was fucking him up.
That's interesting.
It was, and I was with you, Kritter. I think you said you were confused with Moraine just sitting there while it was all happening. I was sitting there going, and like I said, I got that whole Lord of the Rings vibe, but I was like, can they actually hear what's happening?
Okay.
Or
So
because I
Winespring went
I
in
couldn't tell.
knowing they were working together. So you were expecting something like the attacks Winespring, or no?
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was expecting something because they said like you better keep this up, like you better keep like you agreed to this. Like Mo was really forceful with Lanfear, and Lanfear was just like, I said I was going to do this, and we both love Ram. Stop questioning me,
Wow.
bitch. You know, like
I really need to rewatch.
And this is like not the first time that she's had to have that conversation with him. That I will do anything to protect the Dragon Reborn.
And that's why
Both of
I
them.
believe like she would do that, but you know, because she'll do literally anything. But at the same time, Lan sitting there had me like,
Look.
So
like,
real quick,
so Moraine was upset with Lan, right?
that he ran out.
That he gave in too soon when he heard Nynaeve calling for help.
Well, I don't think. See, but that's the thing. I don't think that Moraine was under the impression that it was Lanfear's bubble of evil. She didn't know there was a gray man in there.
Yeah.
Once
they found out, like,
But she was upset before she knew.
Oh yeah, because
the look
she's
she was
losing
giving Lan.
she's losing control of her warder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that he couldn't stand listening to Nynaeve scream. Once she said his name, he couldn't give a fuck what Moraine wanted. Like,
because
that
she
is
was
exactly
calling for,
what you need to see.
Because she was calling for Matt at first, and
Mhm.
Matt wasn't answering, and then she yelled for Lan, and he was
For
like,
Lan.
boom.
There is no going to your woman.
So,
She's gonna-
Dr. Gentek was also saying, and I think several other people said it earlier, that the second letter was to a friend of her mother's.
Okay, so it wasn't a name.
So
drop.
it still could be
Oh,
Tom.
Or
Berlane.
Or Bearlane.
Yeah.
Bear Lane.
Or somebody else said Dobrain, but I don't know.
I saw Dobrain too, and I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting. I don't remember enough about Dobrain.
Oops.
So okay, Bubble of Evil. So we had the cards.
Yeah.
We had the mirrors. I'm gonna get to the axe. We had the mirrors, which by the way, I'm gonna fight so hard during the Watt fantasy.
Ooh, I love it.
On Sunday for that scene. Yeah. Sorry, Rand. Sorry, Rand.
He counts
people.
as Rand. Yeah. Like
Every single one of those fucking counts as Rand. Anyways, that's all
I
I'm
agree.
saying.
Nobody can disagree with us on that. Absolutely.
Here's an argument for you from the books. Rand wasn't sure like what would have happened if he would have been killed by one of them. Like they could have continued on as him. Like that's like
that's true.
So like think about
Oh
it
my
that
gosh.
way. Like technically it could be not Rand that survived.
Yeah, we don't know because they both answered her.
So
at the very beginning. So is this
very clever?
Are they going to pull a Peter Parker on us? Ooh, that. So okay, this little back history. No, in the comic books, there was a storyline for Peter Parker that for 20 years, Peter Parker was actually a clone in the comic books. He lost a battle and was replaced by a clone who freaking remained as Peter Parker.
Is that where the meme came from?
No, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, so that would be interesting that the Dragon Reborn is actually the Reflection Reborn.
I know, Kevin. I know, but shh.
Kevin Murphy is saying no. The reflections couldn't channel.
I know,
that's true.
But that
doesn't matter.
Which is a really good thing they couldn't channel.
But what if one of them killed him? Okay, it could have taken his place. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
I know I said something else, but
let's go to the axe because that was probably of the Bubble of Evil attacks.
Wow.
The axe was probably the most cringy that I was like, oh my god, like between the
cringy. Like it was
like literal like pit of stomach
like
twisted cringy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The shit that happened with that axe was worse than anything else that was going on.
Like whose hand was it? Perrin?
Perrin got that right between the fingers. How much does that have to hurt? I don't give a shit if it's illusionary or not.
Yeah, that was wild. It was awesome.
And he protected Bane and Chiad, and then they are
Loyal
did. That's right. Because he broke it, right?
So now we know how Bane and Chiad follow them to the two rivers instead of following Fail. Yeah.
And that's why they are pictured with Loyal running, presumably to like close the way gate. Because
Dana Lou.
What?
Dana Lou with the emojis.
But seriously, can we talk about the ring?
No,
can we talk?
Right.
Thank you, Dana Lou, because like yes.
I think the showrunners were like, "We're done.
We're done.
Well,
Layla,
we got enough background.
They had to transition him. They had to transition his character arc.
because we're getting Fail. Like,
Yeah.
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 And
Now
I
the
can't
question.
wait for some
Wait,
Fail.
but now the book cloaks are gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe he just took his
Moving
ring
on.
off
He's
and
just
he's
moving
already
on.
with somebody else.
No.
we don't have to listen to them."
Well, you can touch on that a little bit.
The
like,
dude bros.
like, sure, yeah.
Well, to be
But
fair,
we're doing it anyway.
our argument is in season 2, he tried to let go. He put his ring on the lantern,
Yeah.
but then he
Yes.
picked it back up. So he's been
We're
working
seeing
on this
growth,
for a
yeah.
year.
Mhm.
So the bubble
Mm-hmm.
of evil was really the bubble of good for Perrin.
The bubble of healing.
The
you
bubble of
guys.
healing. The
Bubble of healing.
Okay, I think I'm gonna put a hard stop on this at 9:30 Central,
Okay.
which is 9 minutes.
Oh
Alright.
no.
So we gotta.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry, but we gotta, because
It's
your,
true,
your girl
it's
has the baby
true.
dragon to.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
little
Can,
baby.
can we talk about Yashim?
Jaichim. Well, I can't even
Jaichim.
remember how she said his name, but that was.
She was calling. I'm gonna call her Bjorkedian, because she reminds me of Bjork.
The hair is
Okay.
wild.
Yeah, but man, I was listening to it and I was like, is she saying Jaishim? I couldn't until like when we started the stream, people were typing it in chat. I was like, so I'm not the only one that fucking heard that.
No.
Because it was driving
Yeah.
me nuts.
In my head, I was like, "Is that White Cloak armor?" And then I was like,
Yeah.
"Is that an Aiel?" And then she said Jaichim, and I was like, oh, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Because in
Yeah.
the books, he was coerced into doing.
He was definitely just coerced.
certain things. In this, he's like literally become her puppet, which is so interesting. I think.
Yeah.
So-
and it makes her terrifying
So okay,
to
so
see that. Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if she actually fully turned him into a gray man or not.
Yeah, I couldn't quite. Well,
I
he was
couldn't
very
quite-
gray at the end, right? With
He-
even his
he looked-
eyes.
He looked gray,
And she
and
touched
if
his
if
tongue.
that's the case, oh yeah, no, yeah, she put her fingers all up
That
in
was
his mouth.
too much.
I love her so much.
Damn
Because I mean, listen, when it comes to creepy, she's fucking killing it.
She's nailing it.
so
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so how is that going to work? Because, well, I guess he just vanishes and he's like a white cloak gray man, which is just
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah.
he visually continues looking different, he can't like.
He can't be obviously doing
Exactly,
things
a
so-
white
all the
cloak
time.
anymore.
Not to mention, nobody's ever going to see him because he just blends into the background.
Yeah.
So if anybody does notice, it's just another white cloak because of the
Oh.
armor,
But white
Yeah.
cloaks like demand attention
I-
typically.
and they're really shiny.
Yeah. Did anyone think it was going to be Dane because of the posters?
Dane, what?
I did.
No, I just
Dane-
expected Dane to show
Oh,
up
that
in
it-
Two
that
Rivers
was-
because
oh,
he knows
no,
about
no, yeah.
Perrin. Like,
Yeah.
he
Well,
knows.
I just was like, okay, that's clearly a white cloak.
Yeah.
Is that Dane? Is that why Dane's on the poster with Dane? Like, I was
No,
like, what's happening here?
He's actually in the trailers fighting in the Two Rivers.
Yeah, he's gonna be chasing Perrin to
yeah.
the Two Rivers.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we only have a few more minutes. What do we think about the moment when Lan gave Nynaeve the ring?
Oh,
Oh.
I was misty. I got a little misty. I don't know about you guys.
Yay.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if they were going to put that in the show, and the fact that he's like, it's my mom's ring. It's
Oh.
not even the King of Malkir's ring. It's my mom's
Yes.
ring. I was like, these MNFers.
They got me. They got me.
I was like, finally, we are seeing this beautiful relationship with them because that's more how it was in the books. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was more true to the books. that
We're
way.
full spoilers.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay, so we can talk about the fight clip that they put out.
No,
No.
full book
Just the
spoilers.
episode.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that was
No.
out.
No, I know, but not everybody has seen it. Like I didn't see the one
I'm-
that dropped today, and some people are deliberately not watching any more clips. Before
There
the
was
show
one that
comes
dropped
out.
today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Haha.
it's in the waste. I haven't watched it yet because I was going to do a reaction to it.
I haven't watched it either because I've just been busy.
Where's it at? It's just out on the.
It's
I'll send it to you on X.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
thanks, because I
Yeah.
have not seen it.
Yeah.
All right, so I was just gonna say that Elaine's a bit snarky.
Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine's snarky with Nynaeve.
Oh,
like
yeah.
on a regular.
No, I love.
basis.
I agree. I'm digging how they interact with each other. I mean,
And it works because of the time that they spent with Val and Luca, and that whole that's what I'm getting out of this, and it's freaking great.
well, and whenever
Okay.
they were in Falm, they were
Yeah.
like kind of, they
Oh,
became
very much
close,
so.
but they were still
But they
butting
held
heads.
hands.
But
Yeah.
they
They needed each
eventually-
other.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. All right, so hey, gosh, who else? What else is there? Oh, a little love for Liana, guys. Liana, staff, the beating of the staff.
Oh,
like absolutely wild. I love
Yeah.
her.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see when the tower coup happens.
I have
What's gonna happen?
I have to admit something, okay?
Okay.
I actually had to look it up because I couldn't remember from the books. I have been watching season 1 and 2 with the wrong memory of this character. I thought she was a dark friend.
Who, Liana?
I know. Everybody make fun of me. I deserve this. I was like, this isn't adding up. Something
What
is
is
wrong.
happening?
I remember
What's
the barn. I remember the traveling. I remember all this stuff. I was like, wasn't she a dark friend at some point? It was really surprising. Like, really surprising. I was like, I have to look. No.
Somebody just mentioned a name, and I will say that I'm not going to say I called it. It was something that I added to one of my images that I put on during Egwene's accepted test, that the white sister I felt was going to be Alviarin. And they have confirmed that was Alviarin.
Who confirmed that?
It's
Rafe? Or it's
no, it was
like
in
on
the
IM...
episode.
Oh.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I
They
actually
didn't
think
say
they
her
call her
name.
by name.
Really?
People were pretty excited about her, so maybe.
Yeah, it's Alviarin.
Oh,
that
the
was
new
there.
clip seems to be from episode 2. It's on YouTube, press site video. So people are kind of saying.
So,
And I think Alviarin is maybe who I was thinking of too.
yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Talk about the hand in Matt's poster. Pulling it up. I've got
There's a
Matt's
wait, what? There was a hand in the clip when they walked out of the hall of the tower. The first scene you see when they're stepping over bodies is just a disembodied hand just laying there.
And y'all, I was hoping that moment where the warders are like banging on the door was going to be cooler somehow in the episode than it was, but it wasn't. It was still just like, oh no.
Listen, the introduction of two Black Aja, one of them sadistic as hell. That was pretty amazing. And the fact that they showed the Red Aja as not being Black Aja, because they were literally there to help.
Yes, they were. And they were the warders assumed wrongly, which was interesting to see.
That's not the poster.
And I don't see the hand.
Oh, did you guys see the Easter egg toss out to Rand fighting freaking Ishii in the sky? Oh,
my gosh.
And it
was
was like
from the books.
It was like a Marvel comic book cover. It was fucking so good.
I love it.
Yeah.
The drawing of Matt with the horn reminds me of the character that's really magical in Critical Role that sings.
Oh, the Bard.
The Bard. Yes, but what's his name?
Scanlan.
Thank you. It's like it's Laszlo. No, that's not. That's
Scanlan.
from What We Do in the Shadows.
Hey.
I can't wait for I need to do like a side by side because that's what you're reminding me.
I'm trying to find the poster of Matt
from today.
I was just looking at it and I don't see a hand. What do we like other than it's in motion because he's in motion? It's a very well done image.
I'm looking for a hand as well. I do not see. Oh no, I see it. It's on the ground behind him, just below the candelabra. There's somebody laying on the ground, and you can see their hand kind of curled up, and you only see
I need to,
a bit of their hand. I think that's what they're talking about because that's the only thing I see that's. I haven't even zoomed in yet.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Whoa.
Yeah, that's a hand.
And I had to really zoom in to see it.
That's definitely a hand, and it just could be a drunk person.
Yeah, because it also looks like it's resting on something too.
Yeah, it's just laying like this on the ground.
Resting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's rolled up.
I'm trying to get to it. One sec.
Okay, well, it's time to go anyways.
It is time to go anyways.
You said hard stop. Hard stop.
There it is. The hand is right here, guys. This is what we're talking about.
Oh, good job finding it like that.
Thanks. Okay, that's gonna be all the time we have. Because I am still, trying to. I'm not getting as much sleep as most people. Let's put it that way.
Shocking. Yeah.
So yeah, this was fun. I can't believe we're now getting new episodes at the Wheel of Time.
Like next Monday, we're gonna be talking about 2 more new episodes.
I know.
So crazy.
Don't miss the Wheel and Chill Show every week. Coming out now on Monday nights.
I'm ignoring Live Blinded Fool.
Central Time. Live. So, Winespring, do your sign off.
Okay, so check me out on X at Winespring Cafe. Make my recipes; they're pretty good. They're mealtime themed. Check them out; they're in the articles or on my website. I'm gonna have a few more new ones to come out. I'm gonna try to have a new one for every episode that's themed to what we've seen. So hopefully that's fun for people who like to mix those two things up. And also check us out on X Spaces, 11 o'clock a.m. Central.
On Thursdays.
Talking about Wheel of Time on Thursdays. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, Tav.
No, thank you guys for all showing up this evening. It was great. I'm super excited for the new season. I miss it when the three of us are not all together. Because I this is my family and I love it, and you guys are part of that. The episodes are coming in hard and heavy, and they, if anything, continues to be like episode 1, we are in for a spectacular season. I said at the beginning, almost a perfect episode, and I expect more of those throughout the season. So yeah, that's all I've got. Buy merch.
Okay.
Buy merch.
In the chat, to answer your question, Temu Joiner, do these become available for replay? Yes, they do. I believe it takes them a while to process to be HD for replay, but Winespring just dropped. But by the next morning, for sure, it'll be available in HD for replay. No problem at all. And I'm watching for her. Oh, there she is.
There she is.
I'll bring her back. Just for this. I thought you were at Collab Cam 3. No, you were 2. Okay, show stream. Yeah, there you go. All right. So as my sign off, I will say thank you all for being here in the chat, on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok. Hopefully we'll get X working for next time if it didn't start working. This is such a pleasure to talk about the Wheel of Time with such diehard fans, and it's also a pleasure to talk with people who are fans of just the show.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to hear their perspectives and what they think about things without having the background noise that we all have.
I mean, who would have thought it? I wouldn't have known before this evening that all the evil people are actually good.
Oh my God, the fact that he was like, I wish she wouldn't have died. I'm like, she didn't die in the books. She didn't die in the books, guys. She didn't die in the books. Nynaeve stopped Egwene from killing her, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Anyways,
we'll let you read it in a few years.
So anyways, thank you all for being here. This was really fun. Winespring Tav, it's always a pleasure, and we'll be back next Monday. Okay.
Yay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.